All right, welcome back. We have here another screencast for you. This will give you a little heads up before the class what we're talking about, and can help you out after the class in case you missed something or need to hear it again, okay? So we're looking at vertical angles, complementary angles, and supplementary angles. You remember this from the other day? There it is, blown up for you. Let's erase this here. So when we were talking just the other day, we gave you these 4 types of angles that we've been looking at. And we're going to be dealing, when we talk about complementary, supplementary, and vertical angles, we'll be looking at all of those. Okay? So it's really important that you know those, and if you don't know about those 4 angles, please go back to the other screencast and take care of that first. Okay, vertical angles. Let's get a definition here. There it is. Okay, and I'll read it for you. For any 2 lines that meet, such as the diagram below, angle, let's see here, let's get a line so I can draw along with it. Angle AEB, right here, and angle DEC, make it a different color, or red, are called vertical angles. Vertical angles have the same degree of measurement, and then they go on to explain that angle BEC and angle AD are also vertical angles. So let's make a little bit larger drawing of an example of vertical angles. So let's take, a lot of times you're going to see, you know, an X when you're starting to learn this, and we could have angles, and we're just going to number them in here as well. Let me get something that's bigger here. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now we're basically looking for angles that are opposite each other. Okay, so keep that in mind. So angle 1 and angle 3. Angle 1 and angle 3. And the other vertical angles, the opposite here, are 4 and 2. Angle 4 and angle 2. Okay, so that's vertical angles. Real quickly, we'll talk about it more in class. All right, let's take a quick look at complementary angles as well. Okay, here's the definition. 2 angles are complementary angles if the sum of their degree measurements equals 90 degrees. So that basically means that something plus another something equals 90 degrees. And so since we're talking about angles, you know, we could have angle 1 plus angle 2 equals 90. They would be considered complementary. So look at the examples over here. I can actually, let's see if we can make this a little bit bigger for a second. So we have one that's 58 degrees and one that's 32 degrees. If you were to add that up, 58 and 32, 0, carry the 1, 8, 90 degrees, right? So those would be considered complementary angles. All right, let's move this definition here up out of the way, just so you can still see it. Interesting example here. This is how, you know, you're going to see it a lot of the time when we're first learning about it. You were probably going to draw a right angle for you. And we're going to say that we have a few angles going on here. So we're going to say that, let me make a little bit of space here. Hold on a second. We'll put this on another page. Okay, so we have, you know, 2 rays here, ray BA and ray BC, making an angle. And where it's actually, I'm just going to tell you that it is a 90-degree angle. So I'm going to write this here. So angle ABC equals 90 degrees. I'm not going to put the symbol in there right now, just because it will get in the way of another ray that I'm going to put out here. So let's get a different color. How about blue? And I'm going to just draw it off here. And we'll call this point Z. Okay, so since you know that ABC, angle ABC equals 90 degrees, then we could say that angle ABC plus angle ZBC is equal to angle ABC. So let's give ourselves some measurements here. I'm going to say that angle ABZ is measuring 60 degrees. And that means then, if these two angles are complementary, angle ABZ and angle ZBC, if they are complementary, then they should add up to 90. So then I know that I have to make angle ZBC 30 degrees, right? And so it would be something like that. Now, we just made those numbers up, and in some problems, you're going to be asked to say you'll have an angle, and you'll be given one of the measures. Say this one was 60, and this one was x. Then you could go ahead and solve for the variable like we've done with some other stuff. Okay, last one for now. Here's a definition. Supplementary angles. Two angles are called supplementary angles if the sum of their degree measurements equals 180 degrees. The example shows two angles that are supplementary. And why are they supplementary? Because they equal 180 degrees. Okay, let me reduce this definition just a little bit. We'll put it over there so we can draw a little. I love drawing. So let's make an example here. Okay, let's give ourselves a line with 3 points on it. And we'll call them X, Y, Z. And let's make another line that breaks up this straight angle. Straight angle has 180 degrees of measure. And let's do one, like this. And we'll put a point on here called, let's see, A. Okay, so to follow the same kind of thinking as last time, right? If we have angle X, Y, Z, if that equals 180 degrees, then we're going to go all the way up to the upper right-hand corner. Then we could say then that angle X, Y, A plus angle A, Y, Z would be equal to angle X, Y, and Z. Okay, so let's give ourselves some numbers here. I'm going to look at the first one, angle X, Y, and A. And based on, the idea that I know what a 90-degree angle looks like, and I know what a 180-degree angle looks like, I'm going to estimate, just for the point of here, I'm going to draw a line that tells me that's about 90 degrees. So I know angle XYA is less than 90. So I'm going to take a guess, and I'm just going to say it's 70 for now. Okay? I'll put that up here. So if that one is 70, and we know that XYZ is 180, then we can get another one here, right? So angle AYZ then would be 110 degrees. And that kind of makes sense, because again, if we looked at this dotted line here, we're saying that's roughly 90. This is more than 90, and that kind of makes sense, okay? So the take-home here is this definition. Two angles are called supplementary angles if the sum of the degree measurements equals 180. Okay, just a quick review on that. Vertical angles, right? If we had two lines, they could or could not be perpendicular either way, and we had some angles. The angles opposite each other are vertical. So angle 1 and angle 3, angle 2 and angle 4. Angles are complementary if two angles add up, their measures add up to 90 degrees. Okay? So x and y, and x plus y equals 90. Last one here, we have supplementary. Remember what that is? Two angles where their measures add up to 180 degrees. So let's make something like this. And we would say in this example, angle A and angle B equals 180. So A, 180 equals A plus B there. Okay, quick review. Thanks for checking out the video, and let Mr. Cicero or I know if you have questions. All right, see you soon. Did you think you'd get out of it without my face on there? No. Yes. Look at those ears. Bye.